We're just about to start this session, so if people could take their seats, please. All right, good afternoon. My name's Rob Hollow. I'm with CSIRO in Australia, and I'll be the chair for this session. So welcome to our first parallel session, and we have 3 speakers in this afternoon's session, so each talk is 10 minutes, including question time. I'd like to welcome our first speaker, Francesca Aloisia from INAF, who's going to talk about Roma, the second star to the right.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure for me to be here. It's my very first cup in presence, so I feel emotional. And I have so many things to show you in so short time. So let me say just something about the title. Just to say that Roma Second Star to the Right, it's not about political issues. It's a song from an Italian songwriter, Edoardo Bennato, and is inspired by the novel Peter Pan in the Garden of Kensington. And the song is a second star to the right, then straight till the morning to find Nowhere Island. So let's go. I've written so many things, but I don't want to bore you. So this is the 5th volume in the collection of astrotouristic guides under the same title. We developed it thanks to a collaboration between the INAF and Studio Ble, a communication studio specializing in public engagement and research. And we already have realized astrotouristic guides for Padua, Florence, Palermo, and a kids version of the Padua one, Padua Upside Down, with special illustrations for kids. While Catania is to be finalized in the next few months, and we already have the English version of the Rome Second Star to the Right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. The guide Second Star to the Right invite readers to rediscover Italian cities from a different perspective, observing them following itineraries that link astronomy, art, and territory. As you know, Rome has played a central role in Western history for millennia, but its cultural importance and its position at the center of the church have meant that the city's contribution to the history of astronomy, of science, and in particular astronomy, remains little known. This guide aims to help unravel the thin thread that links the history of science to the history of culture and power that has followed each other over the centuries in Rome. And a thread that we have tried to unravel through itineraries that lead the reader to discover places and histories hidden in the monuments, in the churches, in the palaces, and in the many astronomical observatories that dots the center of the city. Because when you walk in Rome, in the very center of Rome, starting from Piazza Venezia, going in any direction, it is impossible to walk for more than 5 minutes without passing an old astronomical observatory. The relationship between the history of astronomy and the history of thought in Rome is very close. But I don't want to read everything. I want to show you something beautiful and many pictures. And as you know, Rome has an immense heritage, as immense as the city and the stories that have passed through it. And to include everything within the editorial constraints of this volume, we had only 100 pages. As I told you, it's the 5th issue, so the editorial limit was a constraint. 100 pages, and what we have tried to achieve is a suggestion of what happened in the city in the different ages, and how this history can be read in the buildings and in the artworks. The guide have been designed, here is one, have been designed to be pocket-sized. It's 12 per 18 centimeters, so that it can be used as a real guide. This is a real guide. a real guidebook, and at the same time are rich both in cultural and tourist information. As I told you, the number of pages is 100. The cover flap is designed to serve as a folder for a map that shows you the principal itineraries and gives you advice, so you can use it just the map or both. And the text on the map are in 2 languages, in Italian and English. But now we have the English translation of the whole guide, and we will have in few months even the Spanish and the French translation. So I'm very happy with this news. Yes, Rome is a city of painted stars and planets, memorable histories of scientists and instruments. This is really a journey through art, history, and astronomy that recounts the importance of the heavens in societies through the ages. From the cosmic symmetries of the Pantheon to the astrological vaults of Palazzo Barberini, from the painted sundial of Palazzo Spada or the sundial in Santa Maria Maggiore, no? We were talking about. And then the places where Galileo was condemned in Rome, in Santa Maria sopra Minerva, and the Casanatense Library. That was really a discovery, even for me. I live in Rome since 20 years. So we selected 6 itineraries to take the visitor on a journey of discovery and curiosity, immersed in the powerful breath of the eternal cities. 5 itineraries are in the center, in the historic center, and 1 goes beyond the center to rediscover the science and the astronomy hidden among the palaces and work of art. But we have many observatories around Rome. We have Monte Porzio. The better thing is that I show you some picture from the itineraries, as I see that my time is quite over. So the first itinerary is from Piazza del Popolo to the Collegio Romano, following lucky stars. From the 8 pointed stars above the Porta del Popolo to the Collegio Romano, and we pass by time-measuring obelisk, and it's incredible. As in Montecitorio, there is a huge obelisk, and that was the obelisk of Augustus, the Orologium Augusti. It was an enormous sundial built at the behest of the Emperor Augustus for Campo Marzio. Then we have the Pantheon, a cosmic temple. It functions as a giant hemispherical sundial. We have painted history of astronomy. This is Palazzo Patrizzi Montoro, where we can find an incredible history of astronomy depicted on frescoes in the palazzo. The scenes include Ptolemy's discovery of the heavens, the martyrdom of Hypatia, Charlemagne's establishment of scientific schools in monasteries, Gerbert d'Aurillac presentation of his astronomical studies to the King of France, and Copernicus observing a lunar eclipse in Rome. Then we have the places of Galileo in Rome. The story of Galileo in Rome begins and ends in a really short stretch between the Collegio Romano and the church of Santa Maria sopra Minerva. Galileo was in Rome 6 times in the space of 46 years. The very first time was in 1587, when he was so young, seeking the advice of a Jesuit astronomer, Cristoforo Clavio, who was teaching at the Collegio Romano. Galileo was in Roma for the last time in 1633, when he was tried and condemned for advocating the heliocentric theory, and then confined for a few weeks in the Villa Medici, his last residence in Rome. Galileo in Rome presented the telescope. Then we can go around the Campidoglio. Around the Campidoglio, there are so many things, but I have to go very fast. Around the Campidoglio, we have the Fori, the Circo Massimo. Then we can choose to make the itinerary around Villa Borghese to see Trinità dei Monti, and the astronomical heart of the convent, that is a corridor of the sundial. At a first glance, it's just a beautiful tangle of red, blacks, and ochre line, as you can see in the picture, but it was a catoptric sundial designed by Father Magnant. So my time is over, and I just want to show you some pictures, because I think we really designed the perfect tool to get lost in Rome. So I hope to see you there. Thank you very much. I go with the picture.
Sure. Thank you very much, Francesca. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions now, but as we only have 3 speakers in this session, we can have plenty of time for questions at the end of the speakers. So, our next speaker is Rosa Duran, who's going to talk to us on scientific tourism under the stars. So thanks, Rosa.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's amazing to be here at the CAP meeting. I'm very glad that it came to a corner near us. So I try to stick in time. This is not the usual topic that I address in my talks. Usually I talk about education. But this is a very interesting and new mix that we decided to adventure on. So I will start from the place where this event that I'm presenting today takes place, which is the Altair Observatory. If you haven't been there, it's in the south of Portugal. It's a night sky touristical destination, and it's an amazing place to visit. As you can see, there are plenty of activities that you can do there. And also, it has a perfect combination for a weekend getaway. So you can see, for starters, this amazing sky. It's real. I've seen it with my own bare eyes several times. It's a place where people can make deep sky astronomy, and you see here pictures from Miguel Claro, one awarded amateur astronomer in Portugal, very, very good astrophotographer. You have lots and lots of ancient monuments that you can visit surrounding the region. You have a very, very rich cultural heritage that you can also visit. And you can also appreciate the gastronomy. And believe me, it's really very good. So these are things that are there already for the observatory. The place has very good examples of sustainability, which is something that all of us are talking nowadays. I'm not going to go through each and every thing that I wrote here, but just to tell you that there is the good, there is the bad, and there is the ugly. For instance, lots of villages being flooded with all the cultural heritage dying there, but also having renewable energy and having tourism, recreation, and sustainable agriculture. So there is all this parts that you can feel and live when you visit the region. And it's very, very beautiful. So what's the connection between that and what I'm going to present next? We all know there is no planet B. I think this audience doesn't need to be converted. And we keep asking ourselves, do we really? Because in our actions, we don't act as if we did. So we thought about creating something that will allow us to engage several audiences and try to bring some more knowledge of the meaning of there is no planet B. So we decided that when we are kids, we like to pretend we are this or that. So being an analog astronaut was something that caught my attention some while ago. I met some analog astronauts, and together we decided to create a project called Explore. You keep that name in your brains, because this will make history one day. So Explore, it's a project that is trying to, we are building a Mars analog settlement in Alentejo. It's not a real thing. It's not for analog experiment. It's not a scientific settlement, because it rains a lot, and at some points you can see a lot of green there. Actually, just stealing my time, I invited the analog astronaut that I was trying to convince to hop in the project with us to visit Alentejo. And he's at the observatory looking at this huge landscape that during summertime is completely burned and red, and there's no vegetation there. But that's February, and he's looking through the window, and everything is green. And he's looking like, So an analog Mars settlement here. But yeah, though, so we have a little corner there that has no vegetation, and we are actually creating this settlement for students and tourists and for citizens in general. And the objective is to give this experience of what it means when we say there is no planet B, what really entails. So we want to build something that will, for sure, attract a lot of curiosity. It will spark the interest of the public, especially the surrounding region that is a very deprived region. We want people to bring families. We want tourists to spend a weekend there. And we want to enrich, of course, the students' learning experience. So we want the whole population, not only from Portugal, to experiment this in firsthand. What does it mean to spend a weekend on Mars? And of course, we are going to cheat because we have to make it attractive. We cannot tell everyone, you are coming and you are going to be deprived of things you like. You are not going to have the comfort that you are accustomed to. You are going out in spacesuit, and it's going to be a horrible experience. We cannot sell it like that. But basically, that's what's going to happen. So we want people to train like astronauts, in terms of safety and in terms of if you go outside and you're wearing a suit that prevents you from using some of your senses, how do you cope with that and how do you do science with that? We also want to have this facility. This is just a sketch of the facility. It will take a while to be ready, but it's going to have the Martian living quarters. They are going to have dining experiences there. And we are going to simulate the spacewalks and stargazing as if people were actually in Mars. We are going to be finding a way for them to dress for the occasion. That's actually the Ayuda spacesuit that was actually used in the latest analog mission in Armenia. And so that, you know, she's smiling, but, you know, after 3 hours there to being suit up, 3 hours, just to, you know, put a suit on, so you can imagine how difficult that is. And it's warm inside, and it's uncomfortable, and you cannot sneeze, and I mean, there's all sorts of things. Of course, you're not going to put tourists and students through that, but more or less, yes, a little bit, just a little bit, so they don't panic, but they will have this experience. We are going to find means for them to observe with drones, to have some extravehicular activities, to participate in scientific workshops, virtual reality experiences, etc. We are going to have activities for schools where students are going to be invited to be analog astronauts for a week. They're actually having a mission, and in principle, they will participate. We have a team that will participate in the world's biggest analog. And we are going to be discussing nutritional aspects. What can you bring to Mars? And the food that they are going to have there, it's Martian food that we hope and we expect we can create on Mars if we ever go there. And they will have some scientific missions like suiting up and going outside, collecting data, analyzing data. And if we participate in the world's biggest analog, as we intend, we will also have data to contribute to this event. If you don't know about it, you can explore a little bit more on the web. The analog, the first bit of the analog will be ready in 2025 when we had the first mission for students. And if that works well and nobody dies of hunger or heat, we are going to start working on the settlement for tourism. So keep tuned. You will hear about Explore. And that's it. I made it in time, don't believe it. So questions for the end or now?
We've got time for a quick question. Anybody in the audience has a question? Or if anybody is online, please type it in the chat window.
Are we being broadcasted?
We should.
Thank you, Rosa. It's amazing, interesting. Do you have any, how can I say, conditions for the people who want to come there?
We will have. Well, the observatory already has. We have several plans on how to do that. All of this is going to be, it's a modular project. We're building one thing at a time. But yes, there will be the conditions for the students, for the teachers, for the tourists, for the families, everyone, yes. The idea is that they spend the weekend inside the settlement. The settlement is for humans to live, hopefully.
All right, well, thank you very much, Rosa. So our next speaker is Julia Hoyka from Warsaw University, who's going to be talking about visual identity for the Einstein telescope.
Hello, everyone. Yes, the title of my presentation today is Visual Identity for a Large-Scale Scientific Project. And I'm going to show you briefly the path that we have taken to the new visual identity for the Einstein telescope. So I think that most of people who are there, who are here today, they heard something about Einstein telescope, but just briefly I will make a short introduction. So it should be future gravitational wave detector. It will be the third generation detector after Advanced LIGO and Virgo. It will be located underground, and it will be large research infrastructure. We don't know still where it will be built because there is kind of competition between Italian side and the Netherlands. Now they are testing the location, what is the best for it. But we know that it will be built in Europe. And also we know that this is a huge scientific community engaged. For today it's more than 1,600 people, scientists, engineers. So before starting this work on the new visual identity, we as a communication team of preparatory phase for Einstein telescope, we identified a few challenges. First is that current logo of our supranational initiative is a bit outdated, and basically it can't be used as a strong logo for this initiative. Second challenge is that the project already has very complicated organization and also a very big scientific community. And third is that we have already have this visual diversity because local sites, Italian site, I see that some people understand the situation. Italian and Dutch side, they already have their own visual identities, and sometimes it's a bit confusing. So to address these challenges, we set goals. First, to create a new impactful logo for the whole initiative, to engage the community, and also to create some common logo that, without replacing for now these local identities, will serve as a supranational, super-European identity. So before going to actual work with a graphic designer, we decided to lead a kind of exercise for the community. And during one of the Einstein telescope meetings, we arranged a brainstorming session. It was interactive, it was on site. We used Mentimeter as a tool, and we asked people 5 questions. So the goal was actually to collect some insights for graphic designer about Einstein telescope from people engaged, and also to give the community of scientists opportunity to express what they think about Einstein telescope, how they feel this. So, and also it was very nice, I have to say that it was very nice networking exercise. People were really very excited, very engaged, and we got very good results. So we asked 5 questions. We got about 1,500 responses from 150 participants. We have no time to go very deep to that. I will just show you a few questions. My favorite one was, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Einstein telescope? And here are the most popular answers. Of course, gravitational waves, universe, black holes, discovery, future, Einstein, gravity. There was triangle, but we now don't take it into account because shape is not decided yet as well. And one more question was about emotions. This is my favorite, actually. And people shared that they feel excitement, curiosity, pride, but also stress, fatigue, and frustration. but at the same time, hope, challenge, ambition, happiness, enthusiasm, and fascination. So we collected all these answers, analyzed it, and from this starting point, we started cooperation with graphic designer. Graphic designer was selected on a competitive basis. It was Cristina Chiappini, a graphic designer and artist. And before starting working with Cristina, we kind of sent her this message that the main question actually is what basic graphic element should become a representative of such a huge and complex initiative. And we also shared that we have limitations because for now many unknowns exist. And also one insight from us was that acronym ET is already very popular in scientific community and also outside. A lot of people just say ET instead of Einstein telescope, so it was kind of frame for the designer also. And now I will just show you what we got. We got few proposals from her. The final decision is still in the process, but I will show you how graphic designer actually worked with input that she got from us. So this was the first proposal, and this one looks, I would say, very modern and futuristic. And here a designer worked with concept of waves, but not how we commonly see it, like this shape, right? But more on perceptual layer. And here these alternations of voids and solids refer to the wave, right? To the repetition of the that wave gives us. Here are some variations and usage. Second proposal. This one looks also very futuristic. And here, graphic designer worked with repetition. You can see that letters repeat also as waves. And this effect gives us a feeling of interference, the basic scientific principle that Einstein telescope works on. This is kind of also set of variations. Third option. This version is, I would say, young, and it tends to talk to young audience because you see here this reference maybe to computer games, science fiction, something like that. And here is a variation where letters change shapes as the space-time also changes shape when gravitational wave pass. And the last proposal, this one was starting point actually, and here you see very heavy black mass, maybe underground, cut with laser beams of light, and we see that this laser create letters E and T. Here, graphic designer made the next step and added pattern like wave. Symbolic waves, of course, not like we depict gravitational wave, but also she added some coloristics, some colorful variations. And here descriptor appeared, and also these beams became spaces, white spaces became more wide, so more visible, more easy to read. And here also some variations with shape, sharp corners and round corners. And also this blue color was actually considered to be the favorite one because it has very good connotations and connotations with intelligence, technology, also reliability. And some insight was that this color actually is very close to European Union coloristics, and it could highlight our European dimension and collaborative character of the project. And here are some examples of usage. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Julia. Now, do we have any questions in the audience? Yeah.
I just wanted to ask if there was any care or thought about the accessibility of the logos.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be the next step. For now, we are choosing the direction, but of course, yes. We are now working on a web page, and accessibility is one of the main criteria. Thank you for this question.
Well, I was smiling because I'm in the group of Einstein Telescope communication for the Italian proposal, of course. And I'm from Sardinia, so I'm double involved. So I know the answer. What is the best place? Sardinia.
Of course.
Sorry,
yeah, we often
sorry.
meet these people. Yeah.
Well, technically, is a very interesting site, but you know, there are these two candidates proposals, and how do you manage the problem of linking, of connecting with the Netherlands and the Italian, because there are two logos, there are two web pages, so there are two different networks working on these two proposals, because we are fighting, of course.
Competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good and very delicate question. I try to answer, I try to do my best answering it, because first of all, we are this supranational initiative. Our goal is just to show what is happening in Einstein Telescope as a whole, right? But, and also we really try to make connections with both offices. Like we cooperate very closely with Matteo Serra.
Matteo, yes, Matteo
who is
Serra,
main communication
I work
officer.
with him.
Yeah, and from side of EMR, we also try to build this connection. First of all, for information flow, just to know that things are happening there and there. And for example, we use Facebook for now as the main tool, because we still do not have this supranational page. And creating posts and some messages for Facebook, we always try to be very equal. We try to show equally what is happening there and there. And this how we manage this complicated situation. But yeah, let's just wait.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks very much. Do we have questions for any of our speakers?
Actually, a comment for Julia, but so having gone through this for the SK Observatory, just a word of appreciation, because it's extremely difficult. Everyone has an opinion about shapes, colors, what a logo should be or shouldn't be. You know, working with different groups, an international project, different sites that are sort of competing, and designing and developing a logo and a brand is a huge, huge effort. So just wanted to say well done.
You.
You know.
Thank you very much.
Yep, got a question over here.
Thanks. This is a question for Francesca about the. Do you have any plans to have the guides as in digital form, as an app or something like that? I don't know if you're familiar with the geocaching app. That is, I think, having an app with the same style would be very interesting.
We have some projects, but we are still deciding which will be the best way. An app, maybe a website. I think we have to do, because I would like very much to make a sort of open access now to our contents. So we have 5 books to put for free. But I still don't know which will be the future. Thank you.
Okay. Any final, any final questions? If not, 3 fascinating, really exciting talks. So please thank our speakers. So that concludes this parallel session, but I believe the other parallel sessions are probably still underway. Thanks very much for coming. My mum's actually going to Rome in a few months. Yeah. No, I. Oh, thank you. Okay. Yes. Well, as I said, I mean, that's what I came to Italy for. It was not long enough. I need to come back. I better hand this.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's finished? Yes, our session is finished. It was only 3 speakers. We get
You have 14h, 15h30 normally.
Sorry, there's
14.
yeah, we were this one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Ok, bon.